Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm so excited it's Friday. It's Allison Morris here. I've got my screen shared with you to talk today about the meal prepping portion of meal planning. This is something that a lot of people don't actually do, and that's okay. Maybe meal prepping is not for you, but if you are somebody who has a very busy schedule, in the evenings you're being pulled in lots of different directions, I would like you to take the time and go through this video and just really listen, and maybe a couple of things that I have done to help me throughout the process you can start adopting and saving some time. Everything that I'm going to share with you today in this video are things that I personally do and that I can confirm actually make a substantial difference in your just in how much time you spend in the kitchen nightly. So I've got some notes in front of me that I'll be reading from for the video. As soon as this video is posted, I'm going to upload the notes that I share kind of as slides, and that way you can easily reference them, take screenshots on your phone for some ideas, and then I will also be uploading my go-to recipes for meal planning or meal prepping. So the ones that I tend to make over and over again that are really easy to prep in advance to save that critical time during the week. So before we get started on just really breaking it down, there are a few tips that I want to share with all of you that made a difference in my meal prepping process. Okay, you have to start small. So I know that you've seen those people that will spend a whole day prepping 30 meals for the freezer, and that's great and that's dandy, but that's very overwhelming. And you just don't have to do that to feel the benefits of meal prepping. You really don't. You can start with one meal that really pains you. Maybe it's breakfast. Maybe you're constantly skipping breakfast, or maybe breakfast is the meal that you are grabbing through the drive-thru. You're going through Starbucks, you're grabbing that breakfast sandwich, and it's really affecting your bank account. Start there. Take the meal that you absolutely can't get on the table, and that be the meal you start prepping, and then build from there. Schedule it. You're going to have to schedule in your meal prepping. I'm a huge advocate of time management and organization. I run groups all the time for that. And you have to schedule in your meal prep. For the first month, you are going to have to work your meal prep into your routine. It is not second to nature to you. If you haven't been doing it, you're going to have to work it into your routine. So it is very smart to schedule a block of time dedicated just to the meal prep. And depending on how much you're meal prepping will depend on how much time you need. So I can't tell you need 3 hours on this day, as I don't know what you're having to prep. So take a look at what you're prepping, give yourself an idea of how long it's going to take, and then schedule it into your routine. At first, it might seem like it's a chore, but I promise you, if you stick through it and you do it weekly, it will be something that you begin to look forward to, because it's therapeutic being in the kitchen. It is. And then you just feel very successful at the end of the week when you are not in the drive-thru and you're able to whip up dinner in a flash because you did prep your meals earlier in the week. And another tip that I have is to find a core set of recipes. So I'm going to be sharing some today that really have benefited my family. So maybe you'll grab a few of those, but find a core set of recipes that you can depend on. Over time, you'll find that there's a set of recipes that you love, and you know how they work. You know how you can meal prep them. You know how you can get them on the table in a flash. And at some point, you're going to have them memorized. And those kind of few tips off the bat will help make your meal prep routine a lot easier. And so the very first thing that I will say as we bust out the meal prep is you have to start with the one you hate. And I know that's a harsh word, but you've got to figure out which meal, we talked about it moments ago, which meal do you hate the most because you never can get it on the table? Is it breakfast? Maybe you're always picking it up on the go. Maybe you don't have the energy to make dinner after a long day. Your problem meal, the meal that you struggle with, should be the meal you prep first and foremost. I prep all of my dinners because our evenings are crazy. I will meal prep my dinner. I will meal prep my snacks because I'm typically in the car from the time I picked my 12-year-old my 12-year-old up from school through the evening, I'm in the car. So if I'm not prepped my snacks and I don't have dinner prepped, we'd probably all starve to death, because I would not have any way of getting it on from the kitchen to the table in a timely fashion and not let something else slip to the wayside. So for me, it was dinner. But maybe breakfast is your Achilles heel. You know, maybe you need to prep breakfast, but whatever that is for you, maybe you're constantly eating lunch on the go, you're ordering at the office. Maybe lunch is what you need to meal prep, or maybe you really need to meal prep a few meals. But whatever it is, pick the meal that pains you the most, the one you're constantly not getting to. Start there. And dedicating your prep time to the meal that you are least likely to cook during the week will actually make a substantial dent in your expensive, unhealthy takeout consumption. Let me repeat that. Dedicating your prep time to the meal that you're least likely to cook during the week will actually make a substantial dent in your expensive, unhealthy takeout consumption. I promise. You can go to the bank on that. So pick the meal you hate and start there, the one that gives you the most struggle. My next thing, do what you can. Just because you don't have time to prep every meal every single day of the week, it doesn't mean you just throw your hands up and say, meal prep's not for me. No, you can't do that. Even the littlest bit of prep is going to make a huge difference in how you eat for the week. So if you only have time to prep your lunch and your snacks, that's fine. You've done something to make sure that you're out of the drive-through line, that you have a healthy meal. If that's, if you're trying to find healthy, balanced meals, you've taken the time to prep it, so you're going to eat it. If you only have time to prep one meal, pick your meal and prep it for the week. And maybe next week you add a little bit more. Maybe the next week you add a little bit more. But don't assume because you don't have time to do 3 meals a day times 7 days a week that you can't do it, because you can. Just do what you can and grow from there. Okay, divide and conquer. This is a big one. Many meal prep pros do everything on one day of the week. I do everything one day of the week, but that's because I'm home during the day. I'm not at an 8 to 5 office job. I work full time as a coach, but I'm home, which means that I have the luxury of spending a day doing it. But if you don't have all day on a Sunday because you have kids that have sports or, church activities, and you can't do it because you work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, then break it up, divide and conquer. So just know there's no law that mandates you have to meal prep. I think there's like that little saying, meal prep a Monday or something. There's no law that says that's the only way you can meal prep. If you're just getting started into meal prep, it can be extremely overwhelming to try to prep all your meals in one session. So consider breaking it into 2 sessions. And I have an example of, you could cook your rice for the week. So you're going to need a grain and you need brown rice as a base for 3 or 4 meals. Cook it all on, let's just use Sunday as an example. On Sunday, then go ahead and cook your chicken. So maybe you're boiling your chicken and you need to shred it, or you're baking your chicken, or whatever your chicken is for the week. Go ahead and bake it for the week, make your rice, and do all of that on Saturday afternoon, right? And then on Sunday, you could roast your vegetables. You could cut up your fruit for your snacks. You could boil your eggs for your breakfast or your snacks. So you can just list what you need to meal prep and then just divide it into 2 sessions. And that will reduce the amount of time you have in your kitchen, and it will not make you feel as, so overwhelmed. The most important thing is just to find a schedule that you're going to stick to, even if it means you have to meal prep in more than 1 day a week. Just what can you stick to? What do you know your schedule can do? And then the last thing is master the art of multitasking. As moms and wives, we should all have this down, right? So multitasking. If you are new to meal prep, it is very common to just focus on one recipe at a time, right? So you've got to do this recipe completely, or you've got to bake your potatoes here, and you've got to cook your quinoa, and then you've got to boil your or cook your protein, and then you have to bag your snacks. But that is very logical. That's a very organized way of thinking, but it's also extremely time consuming. So instead, I would challenge you to use multiple parts of your kitchen at once. So I almost always have something baking in the oven, cooking on the stove, something in my slow cooker, and then I'm always chopping at my counter. And it's all going concurrently so that my oven and my stove top and my chopped veggies, they're all done kind of around the same time. And even though I started them all, you know, I had to get my potatoes ready to be baked. I had to get my sweet potatoes coated in coconut oil, wrapped in foil, and in the slow cooker, right? Or I had to roast my cauliflower and my broccoli, and I had to get it. I'm still using multiple parts of my kitchen, and they're all cooking at the same time. They'll all finish at different times, but as soon as something comes off, I can put something else on. So I always like to make a list of everything that I need. So I eat a lot of boiled eggs. So I will boil my eggs on the stove. There's one burner. While I'm cooking a big batch of brown rice, that's another burner. And then I'll take my chicken breast. I will dice them up, and then I have a delicious recipe I'll share with you guys. That's 3 different marinades, healthy marinades for chicken breast, all cooked in the same pan, but they're separated by foil. So I'll be baking my chicken, and I'll have sweet potatoes in the slow cooker. So I constantly have something cooking. And then I always chop up my vegetables for snacks and bag them. And I will chop up my fruit for breakfast and bag that, so that in the mornings when anything, like, because I work out first thing in the morning, so sometimes my workouts are 45 minutes instead of 30. So that's 15 minutes I'm losing. But it doesn't matter because I've already got breakfast prepped and ready to go. And I'm going to share with you my go-to breakfasts that are already baked, that you just literally pull out, heat up, and walk out the door with. But doing all the different areas of your kitchen just allows you to get more done in a shorter period of time. So multitask. And then I've got some other notes. I made these notes throughout the day. So for my proteins, I always prep my proteins. So if I know that I go to the grocery store on Monday, let's just say Monday, for the week, then I will come home on Monday and I will prep my protein. If I know that I'm on a limited time and I can't do everything, I'm going to prep my protein, because that is the bulk of every single meal. You are eating protein, or you should be eating protein, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So I will boil my eggs. I will count out how many eggs I need. I will boil them all at the same time. I will cool them off. I'll put them in a glass bowl in my refrigerator. My kids know that those are boiled eggs. They eat them, and so do I. So there's always a boiled egg in the fridge ready. I don't have to do it meal over meal. My chicken, here's a tip for your chicken. If you need shredded chicken for tacos or tostadas or enchiladas or a salad, get the chicken breast or the tenderloins, whatever you choose, boil them on the stove, boil them, get them out. Remember those old-fashioned cake mixers that a hand-hold cake mixer? Just put it in there and take it around, and it shreds up for you in like 30 seconds. It's totally the best tool. So I'll boil my chicken, I will drain it, I will shred it, and then I will bag it up so it's ready to go whatever night I need my shredded chicken. And we eat a lot of shredded chicken. So, or I need my ground turkey browned, and I'll season that up and go ahead and cook it. I'll season up my ground beef if I'm cooking with that and go ahead and get that bagged. And I just put them in regular bags, and then I will write on the bag, or I'll get masking tape on the bag. Whatever system works for you, you can have that in your fridge ready to go. For my vegetables, I always come home and wash them all in one big massive. The produce is the longest grocery list, like the longest list of my grocery store. I spend the most time in the produce section. So that's a lot of produce that I have to wash, but I wash it and I rinse it and I let it dry. And then I chop everything up according to what I need for snacks. If I'm having bell pepper strips with hummus, I'll go ahead and bag up my bell pepper strips. It'll be in my snack size baggie. It's in the fridge ready to go. If I am doing carrots, then I'll go ahead and portion them out and bag them and ready to go. And then if I'm going to make zoodles, zucchini noodles or something, I have a spiralizer Honestly, I used to spiralize, but now I just buy them pre-done. So if you have to do it yourself, go ahead and do it. Bag it up. It's ready to go. Label what it is, what meal it's for, what day of the week it's for. And you can kind of like put your protein and your veggies and your grains, your carbs in one section. Like there's Monday's meal. Those are the components for Monday. Those are the components for Tuesday. So really that night that you're actually doing it all, you're just assembling, right? You're just assembling. No brainer. And then I have a delicious recipe I'll share on how you can roast 5 different types of chopped vegetables during your meal prep session. And that way you have a different vegetable each night of the week, but you cooked it all at the same time. Snacks, it's super, super important on your snacks that they are clearly portioned out and visual. So if you are eating vegetables or fruit or whatever, go get snack size baggies. A portion of vegetables is 1 cup. A portion of fruit is 1 cup. Measure it out, put it in a baggie, label it snack, and get that in the fridge. They need to be clear so you can see them, and they need to be portioned out, because if you're needing a snack and you're starving one day, your body is going to eat more than it needs, because there is like a 20-minute delay for your brain to tell your stomach you're full. So that is why in all of my big accountability groups, I really, really teach everyone about portion control. That is huge. And if you're on a weight loss journey or just getting healthy, you've got to have the proper portion of macros in your diet. So make sure your snacks are washed, dried, chopped, portioned, whatever your snack is, have it ready to go. And let me see what else. I think that's about it. I'm going to be sharing with you in another post after this video tonight the go-to recipes I have, like I said, and that way you can click on them, go to the recipes, follow them, see if they're things your family would like, and try them out. So I want to hear like which ones you try out, right? I want to know which ones you're looking forward to. There's healthy ones. They're all pretty healthy. None of them are just like not healthy, but you could make a homemade lasagna, throw it in the freezer on a Sunday, and that can be your meal on Wednesday. That's considered meal prep, right? So it doesn't have to be all this cooking of different stuff. Go ahead and make your meals if they're casserole based, throw them in the freezer, and you've got dinner every night of the week, right? So meal prep means a lot of things to different people. The main thing is that you just remember the things I talked about. Don't overwhelm yourself. Multitask. Start with the meal that is your biggest struggle. Keep things simple. Start small. Do what you can when you can, and divide and conquer. Your meal prepping throughout the week. And I promise you, you will find success in your meal prepping. So that's all I have for the video. I know I went through it fast. I've got slides of everything I discussed, so I'm going to share those with everyone so you can just pull up the notes that so you can reference those, and hopefully you find some of the recipes I share later this evening to be things that your family wants to try. And I want to hear from you. So I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. You can go back and watch all the videos from start to finish if you want to refresh your memory on anything. And I've got a challenge that I'm going to post tonight as well. So I hope you participate in it so that you qualify to be in the drawing for a fun prize when this is all over. So you guys have a great Friday night. Be super safe this weekend. And I'm trying to get this thing to stop here. I will see everybody and talk to everybody tomorrow. Have a great one, guys. Bye.